Coral ardisia, also known as coralberry, spiceberry, and scratch throat, was introduced to Florida in the early 1900s for ornamental purposes. It is considered an invasive by the Florida Exotic Pest Plant Council as a Category 1 and by UF-IFA's assessment on non-native plants. Coral ardisia is an evergreen subshrub that reaches heights of 1.5 to 6 feet. It tends to grow in multi-stem clumps. Its leaves are alternate, waxy, and about 8 inches long. They're dark green, hairless, with scalloped margins and calluses in the margins of the notches. Its flowers are typically pink to white clusters, usually drooping below foliage. Its fruits are bright red or white, globular, one-sided, measuring about a 1/4 inch in diameter. Berries tend to persist on the plant year-round. Although there are no published literature supporting the theory that coral ardisia is toxic, it is suspected that the berries or foliage are poisonous to livestock, pets, and humans. There has been multiple cases of this plant being present in various incidents where livestock have been poisoned by ingestion. Coral ardisia can be suppressed using foliar applications of 2.25% volume-to-volume solution of triclopyr ester containing products such as Garland 4 Ultra, Remedy Ultra, and others. 3% triclopyramine containing products such as Garland 3A and others. 1% imazepyk containing products such as Impulse, Panoramic, and Plateau. Basal bark applications with an 18% volume-to-volume solution of Garland 4 or Remedy Ultra in an oil carrier can also control the plant. Complete coverage is essential when using foliar applications. Do not apply more than 8 quarts of Remedy or Garland 4 per acre. If applying greater than 2 quarts, then treat no more than 10% of the total grazed area. Since formulations can evaporate when temperatures exceed 85 degrees, use care when applying high rates of this herbicide. The herbicide imazepyk has been shown to reduce seedling germination within 12 months of application. For further information, use the IRIS publication numbered SSAGR 276.
Good afternoon. My name is Laura Bennett. I'm a multi-county livestock agent for Pasco, Sumter, and Hernando counties, and I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about dog fennel. While dog fennel is not a plant that is poisonous to your horses, it can be very detrimental to your pasture. Something to keep in mind with dog fennel is the more immature it is, the easier it's going to be to kill. The best height to control dog fennel at is under 30 inches. So the more immature, the better. Except there's a caveat to that. Early spring, when it's the most immature, is not likely going to be a good time to control it because we're typically in a drought during that time. If the plants are drought stressed, the herbicide will not work effectively and you will not get a good kill on your plants. So this plant right here is about getting close to that 36-inch mark. It's getting very, very large. When they're under about 30 inches, you can use a 2,4-D product, Weed Master, and Graze On Next. Once they are getting this mature, you're going to need to switch to Pasture Guard. It's going to increase your herbicide costs, but it's a much more effective herbicide for dog fennel control. One of the worst things about dog fennel is the way it competes with your forage. So if you can look up close here, we'll show you how this plant in particular over time has caused a loss of your hay grass stand. The shade and the root control that these plants have can cause damage to your hay grass stand, and that's why it's important to try to get these out of your pasture. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Joe Walter. I'm the agricultural agent in Brevard County. I have a couple of plants I'd like to talk to you about this afternoon. One is black nightshade. Black nightshade is a dicot. It's a short-lived perennial. meaning that it will live more than 1 year before it dies. It's generally found along fence rows, barns, around barns, even wide open spaces as a pasture. It's a very dark green colored leaf. It'll have green berries. Those berries will turn from green to black as they ripen. The plant contains alkaloid poisonings in the green leaves and in the berries, particularly in the green unripened berries. These alkaloids cause a decrease in salivation, decreased intestinal mobility, pupil dilation, and tachycardia. Most notable symptoms in the horse are colic, constipation, colic, hemorrhagic diarrhea. Control is simple. You just reach down and pull them out. And as you can see, they pull out very easily. Or you can spot spray with any of the aminopurulin products, such as Milestone or Grazon Next.
Hello, my name is J.K. Yarborough and I am a Livestock and Natural Resources Extension Agent for Orange and Seminole counties. Today I'd like to talk to you about one of the poisonous plants that I most commonly encounter in our pasture visits, and that's going to be crotalaria. Crotalaria has several different names that it goes by and that I've heard it called, including showy crotalaria, rattlebox, and just crotalaria. One of the key ways to identify crotalaria is its simple leaf structure and its upright growth. Another key identifying factor is its bloom type. Being a legume, it has a pea-like bloom that's it's yellow and quite noticeable. And those blooms will eventually become seed pods. These pods contain a multitude of little seeds on the inside. It's toxic alkaloids within it, so we want to try to avoid any of our animals from eating large quantities of crotalaria. We want to try to avoid any of our poultry friends from eating the seeds.
Hi everyone, my name is Brittany Justison and I'm the Livestock and Forages Extension Agent in Osceola County. Today I'm going to talk to you about tropical soda apples. Tropical soda apples, also known as TSA, are an invasive perennial weed, perennial meaning they grow every year. And these invasive perennial weeds are a problematic weed to ranchers and livestock owners. They decrease the amount of forager available for your livestock to consume. They can be found throughout the pasture as well as in ditches, hay feeding areas, and under trees. They are spread by wildlife as well as cattle. Cattle eat the fruit on the plant, graze throughout the pasture, move into different pastures, defecate, and spread the seeds. To identify this plant, as you can see here, they grow pretty large in size. A mature plant can grow 3 to 6 feet tall and wide. They have leaves that are 4 to 7 inches long and 2 to 6 inches wide. They are a green color and they have a cream colored midvein on it. There's thorns on the midvein as well as on the stem and underneath the leaf. They produce a white flower that has 5 petals, and this flower will then turn into a fruit. The immature fruit is green in color and has a very similar appearance to a watermelon. As the fruit matures, it turns yellow in color and is about 1 inch in diameter. Inside the fruit are seeds, and each plant can produce 40,000 to 50,000 seeds per plant per year. So they can really infest and take over your pasture within 1 to 2 years. To prevent and manage this weed, prevention is always key to any weed doing monthly scouting throughout the year. For management, you can pull the weed up by hand, make sure you're getting any existing fruit on the ground as well as the perennial root. Another option is the biological control, which is your tropical soda apple beetles, also known as Gratiana boliviana. And these beetles were released in 2003. They eat the plant and decrease the fitness of the plant. The last option is chemical control. There are multiple options on the market. Just to name 2 that are recommended is your Grazon X HL, which active ingredient is aminopyrrolid, as well as a milestone. Make sure you are following the label and directions when applying any type of herbicide. If you have questions about identification as well as control, please don't hesitate to reach out to your county extension agent. We are always happy to help.
Good afternoon. My name is Joe Walter. I'm the agricultural agent for Brevard County, Florida, with the University of Florida Food and Agricultural Sciences Extension Service. This afternoon, I want to talk to you about rosary pea. I was told at one point that, there wasn't any rosary pea left in Florida. Well, when I got out of the field, I found that to be a little different. There's plenty of it still here. Rosary pea is an aggressive grower and can take over an area if not kept intact. We will show you a fence line that has not been cared for in a few years, and you can see how prevalent the rosary pea is. The rosary pea vine can grow up to 20 feet in one season. The plant, which is native to Indonesia, has spread across the world in tropic and subtropical climates. It can be found out in the bright sunlight, but it prefers shaded areas. The plant has long leaves with off-shooting leaflets and red flowers and berries. Ambrin is the poison found in the rosary pea seed and is more deadly than ricin. Less than 3 milligrams of ambrin in the body is enough to kill a person, which is less than the amount of poison in one pea. The good thing is that the pea has a hard surface, and until you crack that hard surface, it does not release the poison. Don't burn these plants. The smoke is also very deadly. If inhaled, the symptoms of rosary pea inhalation smoke poisoning are difficult breathing, fever, nausea, and fluid in the lungs. If ingested and the hard seed coating is broken, rosary pea seeds can cause severe nausea and vomiting, which eventually leads to dehydration and ends with kidney, liver, and spleen shutting down. Death usually follows in 3 to 4 days. Control of this plant is a foliar application of aminopyrrolid product such as Milestone or Grazon Next, or you can use a glyphosate product such as Roundup. Repeated applications and seedling pulling is generally required due to the heavy seed bank that accumulates in the soil. I'll try to show you some seeds here. If you notice, it's a red seed, which about a quarter of the seed has a black spot on it. And it's the black spot is on the connected part of the seed to the pod. Okay. As you can see, this is a cedar tree that the rosary pea has just about taken over. It goes at least 20 feet in the air, and you can see I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's black spots on your picture, and they have red dots in them. Those are the seed pods that occur in it.
Hello, my name is Kaylin Taylor. I'm the Ag and Natural Resources Agent for Volusia County, and I am here to talk to you about nutsedge. As you can see, this is a pretty dominant stand of behead grass. It's fast growing, they have a low stalking rate. You see the nutsedge appear in these lower bare spots where the grass isn't growing as well, by the gates, by the fence lines. Nutsedge is a perennial plant found in warm temperate zones and grows in a variety of habitats. Examples include cultivated areas, fields, pastures, roadsides, edges of forests, lawns, and gardens. Nutsedge is very persistent once established and grows most prolifically during the summer months. Nutsedge can be identified based on their waxy grass-like leaves. These leaves are thicker and stiffer than your typical grass leaves and has a prominent midrib. The flowers of nutsedge consist of a cluster of spike-like flowers originating from a central point. These spikes are distributed throughout the stalks of unequal length, 1 to 3 inches, and are yellow-brown, golden, or straw-colored. If you have any questions in regards to control or ID, please do not hesitate to reach out to your local county extension agent for help.
Caesar weed is in the Malvaceae family, so the flowers look similar to hibiscus, abutilon, and alsia. Urena lobata is in the Florida noxious weed list. Is considered an invasive plant by the U.S. FIFA Center of Aquatic and Invasive Plant, and is in the Category 1 plant species by Florida Pest Plant Council in 2019. Caesar weed's life cycle is annual in many areas of Florida, but may be perennate in South Florida. The growth behavior of this plant is aggressive and compete with others. Caesar weed is an erect, fast-growing, bushy shrub, and mature plant are around 7 to 10 feet tall. Leaves are palmately lobed, alternatively arranged, and have around 2 to 4 inches long. The flower is small and pink, resembling tiny hibiscus bloom. The flowers are located at the base of the leaves. The fruits are pubescent, with hooked bristles, and animals and humans may disseminate the seeds. Weed control methods include physical or chemical control. Pulling out or using a mechanical tool is an alternative, and for chemical control, treatments include foliar applications of 2,4-D, Garlon 4, Vista XRT, or Milestone. These methods are practical even on mature plants. For more information regarding weed management in pastures, please visit the publication number SS-AGR08.
Today I would like to talk to you about vacey grass. It's often confused with Johnson grass or Guinea grass, but today I want to show you a few characteristics of vacey grass that can help you properly identify it so you can use the appropriate herbicide in your control practices. This slide shows how we might find vacey grass in the field. It grows as a bunch grass. It sends stalks up which lean over to the side and presents itself much different than some of the other weeds you might be familiar with. Vacey grass also has an indented midrib and crinkled leaf margins. In these two photos, you can see how predominant vacey grass is in this field. By understanding what I'm looking for and the way the seed heads present themselves, I can see a number of vacey plants throughout these fields. Vacey grass can be difficult to control. In a Bermuda grass pasture, the herbicide Impose can be used. However, Impose can cause severe damage to Bermuda grass, and you're likely to lose an entire cutting of hay. The second herbicide that can be used to control VC grass is glyphosate. Glyphosate should be used in a spot spray and only used on the plant you intend to remove, because it can cause damage to Bermuda grass and Bahia grass pastures. For more information, follow the link below to the University of Florida IFAS paper on identification and control of Johnson grass, Facey grass, and Guinea grass in pastures.